let me level with you. I've wanted to talk about quite a few WiiWare games for a while now, and I even had a series set up to do just that with, but when the first couple of videos didn't do very well, I ended up canceling the series because it was a lot of work and nobody seemed interested. But, in the past few months, a lot of people have gone to the My Life as a King video and left comments saying, hey, this was really helpful, and I thought this was a very helpful review, and deciding what to spend my Wii points on. And so that was kind of what the intention of the series was to begin with, and I figured I'd cram a lot of them in as much as possible between now and January 30th. And the only way I'm going to do that is if I talk about them in bundles. So initially I was going to talk about them each in a single episode for each one, but then I realized that if I released a video every single day between now and January 30th, I wouldn't be able to talk about all the ones I wanted to. But I'm pretty sure if I put them in bundles together, I'll be able to talk about all of them. So first, today's episode, we're going to talk about some of the Hudson games. Not all of them, just some of them. Another episode, for example, would be like Bit Trip or the Art Style series. So you can just stay tuned for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. We're just going to get right into it. So it looks like Bomberman Blast is going to be the first Bomberman game I talk about on the channel, which is genuinely weird to me because I've actually tried to talk about a different one for quite a while now. On several different occasions I've written an entire script for Bomberman Hero, like 3 different times, and ended up scrapping the video for whatever reason. But, you know, apparently that's just not the one that's going to happen. It will happen at some point, because I still have a lot of things to say about this game, but in the meantime, let's just get into this one. So let's see. The gameplay here is Bomberman, as usual. It is a really fun way to play the game. I don't really see any major drawbacks to this particular version. Here's the thing though. Why would you spend your Wii points on Bomberman Blast if you can just hold off and get Bomberman Land on the same system whenever you feel like it? Well, because Bomberman Land isn't really a conventional Bomberman game per se. It is a cute story mode and all, but the multiplayer is practically non-existent. It's got like 3 maps and they all look the same. Maybe it's 4. It's got like 4 maps and they all look the same. If you want to have a decent Bomberman experience on the Wii without resorting to backwards compatibility, you need to get Bomberman Blast. Besides, Bomberman Land is twice as expensive and not as cool. The art here looks better and more appealing overall. It's just a more polished looking game. And the animations are adorable here. The gameplay is tight and doesn't feel janky at all, which some WiiWare games can do that, so that's good. Just a good experience all around. Fun modes for up to 8 players to enjoy, and a fun, cute multiplayer experience. So, should you get it? Well, probably not. And you don't have to get this specific version for any particular reason. Unless you really want the true Bomberman experience on your Wii, you should save your Wii points and give it a pass. Just pick up another version some other time. It is a super fun game, but I don't know if this is the version you have to get. I do give this game a solid 8 out of 10 because it just does what it does really well. Even though it doesn't do anything too crazy.
I've been out here in this war for so long. I don't remember my children's faces. What did little Bobby look like? Was he blonde? Did he have blue hair? Was he a hipster? I can't be sure. Or rather, was there even a little Bobby? I don't know. Who am I? What is life? Why am I here? Why do we fight? This war never ends, and nobody knows why we're fighting.
How interesting. Hudson published an FPS on the WiiWare service, which it's really nice looking, it's kind of clean, you know, it's pretty cool, so somebody obviously cared about it, somebody put work into it, but it's just such a novel idea to have a hardcore style shooter on the WiiWare, an FPS, with no multiplayer, practically. It's got a little.
The controls feel pretty nice and they work well enough. It is super satisfying to shoot up the alien bug hordes that roam the maps and get acquainted with your array of weapons though. There is also an interesting mechanic that has you wipe blood off your visor so you can see, and if you leave it there too long it starts to burn your character's skin. Visually for a WiiWare game it's very graphically clean and polished.
It is a very interesting experience. I haven't played too terribly far in because I'm having trouble beating like the second level. You're supposed to protect something and I just can't even figure out what I'm supposed to protect. So how am I supposed to protect it if I don't even know where it is? Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. The game is fun, and branching pathways can make it feel more engaging, but the game overall does give off a very generic vibe. I can't say that you have to get this game before the WiiWare service shuts down. Conduit 1 and 2 are available on the Wii and a lot of fun. Even though that's not the exact same experience as this, I still find myself thinking that I would rather play one of those. This game is definitely leaning more towards an arcade style though. You rack up points and just try to get a new record in each level. That can really add some replay value to the somewhat simple game, so that's kinda cool. This game gets a 7.75. It's fun, but just not very significant. I suppose for its platform that makes sense, but just thinking about it as its own experience with a little less context, 7.75 feels fair.
That's why you're still a kid.
Dude, why? He startled me. I'm sorry. Ugh.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was really expecting to enjoy Onslaught quite a bit, and then not like this game at all. That's not what I found, even a little. Now, it just seemed like it would be a cheap experience, although the graphics are cartoony and very appealing. It seemed like it would be, you know, really limited with maybe 2 multiplayer modes, no single player. That's not what I found at all. I was very surprised by this, but this game is very interesting. So this game takes some practice until you can aim with any consistency, but when you get it, you forget it was an issue. It's just a tad sensitive, and the settings only swing the pendulum way too far in the opposite direction, meaning you can't really turn at all. I was very surprised when the menu claimed it supported classic controller. I really was not expecting that at all, especially since Onslaught does not. It is really nifty that they tried to make this game so fully featured. If you have one, I recommend starting with the classic controller, but then working your way over to the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, the more standard control scheme. You just have to get a real feel for the turning and reticle speeds. Just overall, I find it very strange that so few Wii games actually support the classic controller, but it seems like when developing WiiWare games, they support the classic controller by default or something. Like for Wii games, they have to make an effort to put the functionality in the game, but for WiiWare games, they would have to put an effort to take the functionality out, or something like that. It's kind of what it feels like. Whatever the case, I haven't actually said too much about the game itself yet. This game is a really fully featured game with a robust multiplayer and a very respectable single player. If I said the last game was somewhat generic, then this one is really not. It's fascinating how much fun this can actually be. Let's just take a generic shooter and think about some of the gameplay modes. King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch, or Free-for-All. Maybe sometimes you can get a game that supports bots to play against. Well, considering this game doesn't seem to work online anymore, it is pretty sweet that when playing single player you can set 7 bots. Even in local multiplayer, you can set CPUs to fill in the empty spaces up to a total of 4 players. What I'm trying to say is that if 3 people are playing, then you can set 1 bot, and etc. The game has a lot of different missions across 5 maps for the single player, but really it's 4 maps because the first map is just a training grid, and it's, you know, pretty simple. The guns are a lot of fun to try, and it's cool to run across them on the map because they refill your water automatically, and if you're in a pinch, that's really helpful. The controls are simple, and once you get used to them, the aiming works pretty well. In single player, there are a lot of special objectives, like making you snipe people across the map so they can't soak your teammates while they run across a beach.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Or just trying to get a certain number of knockouts while protecting your base from an incoming group of enemies. Now the ones that I was very frustrated with but came to enjoy quite a bit are actually stealth missions. You have to sneak all the way into their base and steal a treasure chest, and then get all the way back to your base without getting caught. It is somewhat difficult, but there does seem to be a pretty consistently effective path to figure out. You can even unlock the boss characters you fight at the end of each world to play as. Really, the game is way more ambitious and fully featured than it really should be. It is a small game, but it is a complete game. Honestly, if you have been watching this and you think it looks neat, nothing quite like this exists anywhere else as far as I know. The game isn't just a conventional shooter with a cute aesthetic. The fact that you are using water guns actually affects the gameplay. When you run out of water, you have to go and slowly fill up your water gun. You have multiple shirts that act as your lives. When one of your shirts get totally soaked, you move on to the next dry one, until you run out. You can also just interact with things in the environment that can get you soaked too. Like standing near a fountain can refill your gun, but standing in the fountain while it still refills your gun will start to soak your shirt. But this game is freaking cute. You've got a default pistol, a shotgun, a bazooka, a cannon, a sniper, a machine gun, and a submachine gun. You also get Mario Kart style items that can help you out in a pinch. You can find a raincoat, an umbrella, a soaked squeegee ball, a bucket of water, roller skates, and, etc. Things of that nature. This is just a game that captures the spirit of childhood really well. Considering the game is only 800 Wii points, I think it's a great deal for a lot of unique fun. If you aren't the kind of person who likes this art style or wholesome gameplay, steer clear, it's just not for you. But I give this game an 8.75. It's really surprising. Honestly, I'm caught off guard. It's cool. I enjoy it. So here's the thing about WiiWare games, though, is they're all really simple. So if you saw a game here that you thought you might like, you probably would like it. And if you're like, hey, I want to get that, you probably would enjoy it. But if I had to say one game that was really unique out of these three, I mean, I enjoyed all three, but if I had to pick one that I said you should get, it's Water Warfare. It's super weird and goofy and eccentric, but it's unique, and that's just, it's something you can't get anywhere else. Onslaught's a pretty generic game. Bomberman's Bomberman, but then this game is very strange, very quirky, and I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And it's only 800 Wii points. So, that's pretty good. So, while I was editing this video and I was getting ready to export it and everything was good to go, I realized I didn't actually record an outro. So, my apologies. Here we are several days later after the whole video is actually done. I just wanted to go ahead and say thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and leave a like down below. It only takes a second. And if you want to see more WiiWare videos, of which there are more coming, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to check out some of the other stuff I've made, the last video I made was on Doom 3, and I can go ahead and link the My Life as a King video over here. So, I don't know if it'll appear right now, or if it'll appear in a few seconds. Who knows? Anyways, I just wanted to say, Jesus loves you, so do I. Till next time, and goodbye.